we're about to announce is a really big deal, and I want to thank him for his advocacy. And I know we're in the presence of the Mayor of the Shire and also many local community advocates and representatives from the local area health district that put in the chair, so we want to thank all of you for being here today. But we're really pleased to say that we appreciate the growing community in the Eurobodalla Shire, and for that reason you might be aware that last year we allocated some money to do some planning work for a new health facility. I'm very pleased to announce today that because of the hard work of Andrew Constance, the New South Wales Government is committing $150 million for a new hospital in the Shire. We're looking forward to the community having feedback on where it should be exactly located, and we're looking forward to getting cracking in the next few years to building this new facility. This is a big deal, but the community can feel confident that we're going to build this hospital because we've built so many new hospitals in rural and regional New South Wales, and it's now time for the Eurobodalla to have its own hospital, own major health facility. Very excited to be able to make this announcement, but I do want to make clear it would not have been possible if it was not for Andrew Constance and the community feedback that he's received. Andrew.
Thank you, Premier. Well, we're on an historic wharf, so it's an historic day. Can I thank you, but also recognise the wonderful people behind me who are absolutely pivotal to all of this. I particularly want to pay tribute to Michael, who Dr. Holland over the last couple of weeks has collected some 3,000 signatures on a petition in a matter of weeks, which demonstrates clearly what the community is saying, and that is that we need a new hospital for a shire which has some significant health challenges with ageing the community, all sorts of challenges which, you know, beset our demographics here in our region. But ultimately now, this Shire hospital will complement the New South East Regional Hospital in Bega. And, you know, I know one of the key things which people ask is, oh, where's it going to be and how it's going to be built and what have you. But the $150 million will build it. What we're going to see now is the community rally together, parochialism cast aside, because the health of everybody in the Shire is more important. This is a Shire hospital for communities from Moruya to Batemans Bay, all the villages that surround those major town centres, including Moruya, and we're going to do this well, and that's the exciting part. And to know that our communities come together as one through such a huge number of signatures. I've never seen a petition signed so quickly as what we've seen, which Michael collected and his team. So that is testament to what we're dealing with in terms of community support. And also to Lisa Kennedy and the team and Alan from the Health District. They've done 12 months of work already when the money was put in to do the clinical service planning. So the hospital's already started to be built in a way because that vital work's now well and truly underway. So it'll be great to work with the community, work on a location which is close to utilities, emergency services, everybody working together. We've got to find a very substantial sized site because of the need to build a facility which can be built on in 50 years' time. We don't want landlocked sites that we've experienced currently, and that's why this is going to be a wonderful experience for everyone concerned. So thank you, and thank you to the New South Wales Government.
Great. Any questions?
Hey, Dr. Holland, how are you feeling?
Well, it's almost as good as my daughter's wedding. So,
Can't say that.
It's quite appropriate that it's Mr. Constance's birthday. I can use my obstetric analogies and mention that, you know, I've witnessed thousands of births, but this is right up there, and it will bring new life to the Eurobodalla, I'm sure. And quite appropriately, as Mr. Constance mentioned, the historic site over there of the granite quarry, which has been the site of many major public works in New South Wales, including, you know, one of our national landmarks, the Harbour Bridge, and that's going to unite the Eurobodalla just like that. And I must say that the work that's gone on has been with a great team of the community, the medical staff, nursing staff, allied health, all behind it, and once again recognise the people that have worked so hard with the Eurobodalla Clinical Services Plan. It's a very proud day for the area.
And I should single out Andrew. Andrew, as the Chief Executive, has really transformed the relationships across the community. So Andrew, thank you as well for your team.
When do patients move in?
Well, so Ian, based on the experience in the South East Regional Hospital, I think it's important to answer that question. The communities come together, so we will obviously form a community reference group which will be led by the medicos to work through some of the issues ahead. And it's important. I mean, we don't have intensive care here in the Shire. We don't have the medical health facilities that other shires have, and we have patients travelling hundreds of kilometres for services that really should be here in the Shire. So I'd ask everybody to be remembering that point. If, you know, in terms of the location, it's far better to have a hospital Shire than having to travel to Canberra, where we pay, I think it's $100 million a year in premiums to the ACT government. So this is a sensible investment for us. But you know, there's issues which the medicos will bring forward through obviously the extensive work that has to be done. And it's all about the services. Forget the location, it's all about the services. So that's what's got to obviously be worked through, and then ultimately with the money that's being made available, you know, we'll work through it as we did with the South East Regional Hospital and get it built fairly quickly.
Do you have any words of advice, or is there any support for the in-between time, the time between now and when the new hospital is built? There's some challenges still there. Any advice, any support for that interim period?
Well, look, I mean, I just think work with everybody. We've got everyone together. We've got thousands of signatures on a petition. Everybody's so happy about this, and I'm pretty sure they'll be happy in this announcement. I mean, I put up a social media video last night. It went nuts in a very short period of time. So I didn't announce it, but I just alluded to the fact that we've got these petitions. So everyone's interested in it. It's the number one issue in the community, above and beyond anything else. So I'd be confident that we just continue to support our existing facilities. We'll work through all of those issues which will come with that. We know that there's going to be issues along the way, but everyone's got to keep in mind the bigger picture and keep in mind everybody in the Shire, from Moruya to Batemans Bay and all those villages.
And if you can forgive me for asking, is this an election commitment or is this happening anyway?
No, it's happening anyway. It's not an election
Why are you
yet.
guys so cynical? But the good news is, and just to demonstrate that point, the consultation's already started. The work's already started because we had announced this planning money, I think it was in last year's budget. So the work's already started. We're in a good place, and because of the strong community backing Andrew's had for his proposal, we know that we're in a strong footing to move forward. And I think the biggest challenge will be finding the right location. Everybody casting aside their own interests and saying this is the best place for a world-class hospital.
It's better than Canberra and Sydney.
Yeah,
That's the key
that's
point.
it.
So just touching on the funding for last year, I know that was also to go towards the revamp of the Moruya Hospital. Will that still be going ahead, or is that going to be cast aside in favour?
No, what we said, I mean, the clinical services planning was across the entire Shire. It wasn't just earmarked towards one hospital, and it was working with the doctors. And this is the pleasing thing, which it wasn't necessarily the experience elsewhere that the government's seen. The doctors have come together across both hospitals and all community health services. That's a good thing which Michael just alluded to in terms of allied health. So this is not about the bricks and mortar. This is about the communities and the population health and the requirements of the community moving forward. And you know, we've got some pretty old facilities, I think it's fair to say, and our staff, our medical staff, our nurses and doctors, our allied health professionals deserve the best state-of-the-art facilities to care for us as a community, and they don't have that currently because of the ageing of the facilities. So it's really about, you know, transforming health services for generations to come.
Fantastic. And just touching on the South East Regional Hospital, I know that was 187 million. Are you confident that you can do just as good a job up here for 150, or is there going to be a shortfall?
Look, we'll work through that. I mean, the point out of the Bega Hospital is that it was paid for by both Commonwealth and state means. This is state funds. I'm pretty sure the Health Minister would happily receive a cheque if the federal government was willing to make the contribution. But look, you know, this is the initial outlay. And of course, as with any infrastructure, we go to market, and that's when we sign a final contract, and that becomes the final price. So, you know, this is a good, very, 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 very significant contribution. It sends a very clear signal to the community we're getting on with this and how serious we are. And once we go to market, we'll bed down the final cost.
Any idea what will happen to the existing sites of the Bay and Moruya?
Well, that's part of working with the community. Down in the Bega Valley, we have Pambula, and Pambula acts as a complementary service to the South East Regional Hospital. But let's have the discussion with the community. Most importantly, though, you know, in some circumstances, it might help to still run a facility. But we're not at that point now, and ultimately, I think the key element out of this is let's get on with it. We're not going to have arguments over locations, I can promise you that, because this is far too important. parochialism needs to be cast aside and people's health put first in this circumstance, and that's what we'll do.